All right, let's just jump right into this because what we're looking at here is one of the most wonderfully absurd, most unlikely electric vehicles ever made. I mean, we are talking about a true icon of excess, a legend built on gas-guzzling bravado that's suddenly gone silent. This is the story of how Mercedes electrified the G-Wagon. And that's really the big question, isn't it? For decades, the G-Class has been defined by its rugged, unapologetically old-school vibe. So how in the world do you take that soul, that very specific character, and plug it into a battery-powered future without losing what makes it, well, a G-Wagon? And this just lays it all out perfectly. You've got the icon on one side, famous for its roaring V8 and its, let's be honest, terrible fuel economy. And on the other side, you have this brand new reality. 4 silent electric motors, delivering all that power instantly. This isn't just a new engine, it's a total rewrite of the vehicle's identity. So let's formally meet the star of the show, the 2025 Mercedes-Benz G580 with EQ technology. Yep, that name's a bit of a mouthful, I know, but it's actually really important, and we'll get to why in a bit. This thing is a walking contradiction, a rolling fortress that now moves with a whisper. Okay, first things first. For anyone who loves the G-Wagon, the big question, the only question that really matters at first is, does it still look and feel like one? Because if you lose that, you've lost the whole game. And Mercedes knew this. They knew they had to be careful. And you can see they absolutely nailed it. That iconic straight up and down boxy design, untouched. They even snuck in some really clever but subtle aerodynamic tweaks you'd barely notice. And maybe most important of all, when you shut that door, you still get that signature bank vault thunk. It just feels solid. It feels right. Of course, you can't talk G-Wagon design without talking about the back. For as long as I can remember, that rear-mounted spare tire has been its calling card. It just screams, I'm ready to go anywhere. But check this out. This is so smart. You can now get this slick, boxy case that takes the place of the spare tire, and it's designed to hold your charging cables. I mean, come on, that's the perfect symbol for this truck's whole deal. Same iconic shape, but with a new purpose for a new era. All right, let's tackle the biggest myth about EVs, the idea that they can't handle serious off-roading. Mercedes wasn't just trying to match the gas version's legendary skills here. They were aiming to blow it out of the water. And it all starts with pure, raw power. The G580 has 4 separate electric motors, one for each wheel. Together, they crank out a massive 579 horsepower. This setup gives it a level of precision and control that old-school mechanical systems could only dream of. So what can you do with all that power? Well, you can climb a 100% grade. Now, that sounds kind of impossible, but it just means it can drive up a ridiculously steep 45-degree angle. That is a testament to the insane power and traction you get with those 4 motors. And get this might be my favorite stat. It can drive through 33.5 inches of water. That is 6 inches deeper than its gas-powered brother. Turns out having a completely sealed battery and motors has some serious advantages. Okay, now for the ultimate party trick. It's called the G-turn. Because each wheel has its own motor, it can spin the wheels on the left side forward and the wheels on the right side backward at the same time. It literally does a 360-degree spin in place. It's a full-on tank turn, and it is absolutely wild to see in person. And the G-turn is just the beginning of the toolkit. You've got G-steering for super tight turns on the trail, a transparent hood camera that lets you see the ground right in front of the wheels, and an inch-thick slab of carbon fiber protecting that battery. This thing is built for business. Okay, so it's an absolute monster off-road, we get it. But what's it like to actually live with as an electric vehicle? You know, in the real world? Let's get into the practical numbers. So the heart of this machine is a huge 116 kilowatt-hour battery. That gets it about 293 miles of range on the European cycle. We should expect the official EPA number to be a bit less than that. And even though it weighs a whopping 6,800 pounds, it can still hustle to 60 miles an hour in about 4.6 seconds. Now, what about charging? On a fast charger, you're looking at about 32 minutes to get from 10 to 80%. And look, that's pretty reasonable for a battery this big. But this chart puts it all into perspective. It's a whole different world from the 5-minute gas station stop you'd make in the old version. That's just the reality of EV life. And the price? Well, it's a G-Wagon, so no surprises here. Mercedes says it'll be in the same ballpark as the high-performance AMG G63 model. which means, yeah, you're looking at a starting price around $180,000. This has always been and still is an ultra-luxury statement piece. So let's zoom out for a second, beyond the crazy specs and the huge price tag. Why is this vehicle so important? Because what it represents, its very existence, is a massive statement about where we're headed with electric cars. Remember that long, clunky name I mentioned? Well, here's what's so significant about it. Notice what it's not called. It's not the EQG. By giving it a regular model number just like its gas siblings, Mercedes is sending a powerful message. They're saying this isn't some weird separate EV project. It's just another G-Class, period. And this brings us to the core idea, a quote that came straight from Mercedes. And just think about it. If this vehicle, the absolute poster child for gas engine excess, a truck defined by its V8 rumble, can go electric and actually become more capable, what excuse does any other car have? And that's the final thought I want to leave you with. By treating the electric version as just another model in the lineup, is Mercedes showing us a future where we stop making a distinction, a future where there aren't electric cars and gas cars, but just cars that happen to be electric?